most of the folks watching or listening want to get more new patients, and they're going to use Instagram or Facebook the way I'm using it. And maybe over time, certain...
Today we're talking about why physical therapists might secretly be the best content creators on the planet, and they don't even know about it. What? Why your eval already looks like a viral video, and you never looked at it that way, but maybe you will today. And how saving time in clinic sometimes means doing things that absolutely make no sense. We've got hot takes, fake sponsors that absolutely should not exist, and advice that might accidentally make your business better. Wouldn't it be great if you accidentally made your business better? It'd be good. But first, we got to pay the bills because you guys understand how this game works, guys. First, we're going to take a look at the new sponsor. We're getting into a little bit of pharmaceuticals, wellness brands now. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Buy-in Balm. Rub directly onto skepticism. Today's episode brought to you by Buy-in Balm, the first topical solution clinically proven to reduce itching dash applied directly to the forearm before your explanation. And suddenly, everybody's nodding like they totally get it. Buy-in Balm, because compliance starts before the exercise. It's now available in 24 and 64 ounce tubs. With Buy-in Balm right there. It's a lot of balm. It's very balm.
Hey, I'll give you my credit card live over the show right now.
Yeah.
Let me get this 64 ouncer.
I mean, we could make it like a pheromone, like a spray. You know what I mean? Like you could spray it. You could do a diffuser. What are those things that all the pothead kids in college had? They'd light it and it would burn slowly. What was that called? I wasn't a pothead kid. Not against. Oh, no. Like the thing that would just incense. Like they'd burn incense. It would sit there. Everybody had like a wooden toboggan in their college dorm room, and then they would light the incense. Everything smelled like closets.
You got to switch Jimmy and I, or else I'm going to get credit for being younger than I am.
Sorry. Oh, I made the thing. There we go. Now our names are below us. Look at that. Like we're on ESPN. All right. Where do you want to start? We could start with like the 2026 social media. What's going on? What am I supposed to be posting a lot? Am I supposed to be posting reels? Am I supposed to be posting videos? Or we could start with what I teased a little bit ago, which was why we think your PT eval is already structured like a viral video. You just haven't looked at it like that.
Let's do the social media because Dave's focused on that, and that'll lead into the evaluation.
I agree. Okay. Whatever you want.
I wanted to hear from you guys, right? So I messaged you both yesterday, and I know you guys are super humble, but I think your two accounts or presence online, I think are two of the top in the U.S. physical therapy, if not all of physiotherapy globally in terms of quality, consistency. I mean, consistency is really like the biggest, the main focus here. And so just for anyone watching or listening, like I sent a message yesterday to Tony and Jimmy, and I was like, I see like the Jimmy and Tony, they're doing these like images, these like badges that Jimmy, I think made, maybe Tony did too. Like, so I started messaging you guys. This is like what we would do even if we didn't have a show, right? So I'm messaging you guys, and I'm like, for my practice in New York City, concierge pain relief, I'm trying to do more content. And like some days it's like hard to even do 2 posts a day. I've done the posting before, but I said to you guys, like, first of all, how many, and I'm sure the audience might be curious, how many times a day? And I said, don't give me your average. Like Monday, how many posts on Instagram or Facebook? On Tuesday, how many posts on Facebook and Instagram? And I realize from what you originally said, but we can cover it now live, that I was, underestimating. I knew you guys were doing volume, but it's just like, so it's got to be not challenging. It's just like, you got to get in the groove, and I'm trying to get there. And I think folks out there are very, very close to achieving the same type of success that you guys have. It just is going to take consistency over time.
Jimmy?
Well, so let's set a few things up. So Tony's audiences are the public, right? I mean, that's who so when Tony... It is now. So when Tony like drops something and gets like 300,000 views or 500,000 views, I am jealous. I then have to quickly take like a little bit of a reality check. I'm aiming at an audience of 300,000 realistically. That's the number of American PTs. Do I care if an Australian physio or English? No, that's great. So I'm aiming at a smaller market. It's still like, oh man, where's my million, view, whatever. These are not simpler. These are just different. right? Aiming at a bigger pond and getting 1 million views is still not easy, right? So number one, understand who your audience is. Number one, if everybody is your audience, it is really difficult to hit. So this is all a preface. I'm going to get into details. The second thing I'll say is what you just hit on. What is the biggest lever? Frequency. I mean, I've done this before where I say, those exercise principles, frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, progression. Those are communication principles. Frequency is the lever that I am testing in 2026. My word of the year is frequency. So my goal, not just on social content, but my goal in episodes for my podcast is 365 episodes in no less than 365 days. And we're a month in and already everything is up. I mean, I know it's not a shock, but I mean like up by 3-digit percentages. So it's up more than 100% because of that. I did not increase quality, right? How am I going to measure that, right? I'm doing the same thing that I think I've normally done. I'm just doing it more. So that's what I'll preface it by saying.
Yeah, and like Jimmy said, I mean, I made the pivot probably sometime last year where I was like, okay, I had 2 audiences, the physical therapy professional group and then the general consumer. And I was like, why am I spinning my wheels? I'm killing myself trying to help drag therapists out of the situation they're in. I just can't do it anymore. And so that's where I kind of gave up. I said, you guys do what you're going to do. I'm going to move on. And now I'm focused on a larger population, but even different from Dave. Like, I'm not trying to sell appointments. I'm not trying to fill my clinic. All of that is done. I am trying to build a mechanism that brings attention. 100,000 to 500,000 view videos is what I'm targeting. And now I went from, 1 video a day to 3 videos a day to February. I'm shooting for 10 published posts, and it's going to be a combination of video and photo, because photos are performing incredibly well for me right now, whether they be illustrations or actual photos. I grab screenshots from videos. I play around with all of that stuff. And, I added 50,000. I just looked this morning, 50,000 followers to my Facebook business page between the last 12 months, from February 5th, 2025 to now. That was 50,000.
Right. That's insane. That's an insane number. Yeah.
And that was an account that had 5,000, so right now I'm at 50,000 followers on that account.
That's insane. That's wild. Okay.
So Jimmy, I had asked you the past couple of days and you gave me the numbers privately, but like, what are you posting either on Instagram or Facebook per day? Let's say, I think you said so since Sunday, today's Thursday, February 5th. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, if you want to throw in Wednesday, what are you posting on Facebook and Instagram per day?
I think I should be better at this because I'm still being reactive. I looked at the data and it said that my audience on Instagram was most active Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, okay, well, if that's what the data says, I would have thought weeknights, right? Not during the day because we're working, but it said Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, well, then I'll triple down. So I was doing like 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, and then like 2 or 3 weekdays. I try to hit those. And then what I used to be very like, well, I do an episode and I'll go to Opus Clip or Video AI. These are apps that you can drop a big video in and get a bunch of clips. And I didn't love them. They weren't good. They were B minuses. They weren't bad. They're bad, but you have to do a lot of work in there. I'd rather drop 1 clip from an episode that I do, find a really good moment, and then I'd rather make a bunch of one-off videos. And here's what I mean. This is a parallel. These are mic breaks. This is what I did for a living. I talked between Linkin Park and AC/DC for 15 years, right? And that's what short form video can be, where I used to just take a moment like from Breakfast Club or try to take 5 moments from 1 hour-long thing from Breakfast Club. And there's a bunch of good ones in there. I'd rather do 1 good one and then do like these sort of one-off topic-based beginning, middle, and call to action video. And those do a lot better because they're not out of context.
The topic base you're talking about, is that the videos that you're posting where you're talking into the phone yourself?
Yeah, like, hey, if PTs were Avengers, who'd be who? It's like, well, Captain America's Outpatient North. And then I'm dropping like pictures of Chris, of Captain America and Iron Man. And that takes me 20 minutes to do from idea, because I'll play with the idea. I'll wrestle with the idea a lot to get it right. Because anybody can write a short form video script for if physical therapists were Avengers. And then it gives me like a C minus. And then I go back and forth and I'm sanding it. I need to sound like me. I need to hit. I need to understand the audience. So this goes into what we said when we first started playing with AI, like the better the prompt, the better the outcome. The more I think my AI, right, my little pet AI, well, there you go, bud. There you are, buddy. It understands me, who I am, what I'm doing. But the more you can give, the better. And I've cheated now. I don't type a whole lot. I verbal process. So I hit that little microphone button and I just go, goo, lots of words, lots of input. And the more of that, the better the output. I take that script, I go into another app, look into the camera, do it. And then there's the post-production. I am not a post-production guy typically. Again, live radio guy, not complicated, a little bit of time. And the more stuff you put in there, the better. And then you get one idea that you're like, this is going to kill, and you post it and nothing happens. And then you post that one Avengers video. Like my hair I just rolled out of bed and I was like, this would be funny.
I remember that one.
Videos. I'm like, awesome, cool. Now my hair is messy for my greatest moment. I have my 15 minutes of fame. So for me, I probably should be like, the goal is 3 every day when I'm more reactive. So now that we're saying this, I should be more proactive.
So what I like about what you're doing, Dave, is the videos you're sharing right now are more about, at least from my perspective, they're more about getting to know you, even if it's your therapist or anything, somebody else. It's more kind of getting an understanding of who you are, what you think is important. You chose to share that video. So it's kind of laying the groundwork, laying the foundation for most of what I have when I'm sharing something. The bulk of the audience understands it's a total knee replacement focus. Even if I don't say anything about knee replacement, the comments that come in are all related to knee replacement. I shared a cartoon about 3 guys running away from a bear. I said, you don't have to be the fastest. You just can't be the slowest. And a lot of the engagement was from people who had a knee replacement. There is nothing related to knee replacement in the post. So it's one of those deals where you're in the phase of kind of sharing the information about you, what you think is funny, what you think is interesting, why you're sharing those videos. Then you're also building the system. So I can go in the clinic today. I can get content for 20 new posts. And when I'm going to share, like I just did a little cupping, literally like a 7-second cupping clip that got 230,000 views or something like that. But I did it while I was treating, so you can start catching those little 15-second clips. They're not going to sell an appointment, but they're just going to bring eyeballs and bring attention to the channel, and they get monetized. So, that little video will make money.
What you just said there is important too. I mean, there are some brands that I've worked with in PT. They're like, we have great content. What's going on? And Tony taught me this. And then it was very, very simple to see. And now I look like an expert, but that's actually how experts work. They don't know something. They find something out, then they do it. You have to train. Everybody gets pissed about the algorithm. Oh, this is awesome. How come we didn't play? I'm getting banned, right? You have to train. Instagram wants to know who you're after. It wants to be the Yenta, right? It wants to be the matchmaker. It wants to bring you the right people, so they love it. They want people to stick around their platform. YouTube is trying to figure out who you are. And when you aim at a small audience, that's just harder. But man, once it figures it out, it's like, oh, got it. You like these people who watch these videos. Think about how much information you're giving YouTube. What you watch, what you skip, what you stick around, what you come back to regularly, what things you search. You're giving it a ton of information. Like, this should creep you out a little bit. And then it's now slowly testing. It's the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park. It's slowly testing every part of the fence. And it's going, this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? It's the needy girlfriend. Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? And then when it starts to find it, boom, and it locks that in, it just might take a while. And that's simple. It's just not easy. So I've worked with big brands in PT association, parts of the association. And like, how come no one's finding us? 2 reasons. Number one, you're an association, right? You're a state chapter or you're an academy and you have 15,000 emails, but you haven't emailed on a consistent basis that you have a YouTube channel and that there's good stuff there. And the answer usually is no. And then the second part would be consistently put out content that just satisfies the crap. When you think you've over communicated, you're at 20%. Do it 5,000% more. Do it more. Frequency.
We are definitely at the stage right now where a channel like Dave's could put out a video, and if it just hits at the right time and the right message or the right thing, you'll get 1 million views. You know, it doesn't matter how many followers, it doesn't matter how many subscribers, how much history.
Yeah, no, right.
The algorithm will test it, and if people stay on and watch it and engage, it'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing to a bigger audience. I've never seen a time like today for organic reach.
I will give people grace, though. Dude, this is frustrating, right? Like, you honestly have a great practice. Like, I'm going to talk to, like, the Daves of the world, right? Like, I'm talking at a big audience. I've also been doing it for a decade, right? So, like, everybody's like, this guy Jimmy on the live stream, overnight success. I'm like, a decade of getting nothing, right? Or just dragging a little microphone to a conference. But like Tony knows, like it takes a while. So if you're doing this for your clinic, again, Will Boyd would say, and I would agree with him, if you have $100 to spend and you need to make $1,000 in a week, I don't know if organic is the only thing I would do. I would definitely do it because it's low cost, low risk. I would take that $100 and put it into ads, and then I would just you have to say I have no problem failing in public. Well, my boss had a great line. If you do something on the air and no one listens to it and it flops, no one watched you fail. Delete it after a day. No one can. I've heard some varying reports, but everything that I can see is if you delete stuff, the platforms don't penalize you for that. Again, follow the money. They want you to bring people. They want you to bring all the boys to the yard. So they're like, what milkshakes does this person produce? Let me get those milkshakes to the right people. Like, follow the money. They are not working against you. They are working 100% for you.
For any other practice owners that are watching or listening, I want to go in real quick in a second to some of the benefits that I've had in the short time of having concierge pain relief on Instagram, specifically in regards to DMing physicians. That's a little teaser for a second. I want to come back to posting. Jimmy, Tony, when you guys post 3, 10, 5 posts a day across Facebook or Instagram, are every single post that you guys do recently or currently, are they manually published, or are you guys using some scheduling app or anything like that in terms of tools? And if so, like, what's the tool?
So I'm using Meta Business Suite. So I would say it's like manual publishing. When I go, it kind of depends, but I'll go to the Meta Business Suite. I'll either set up the schedule one every hour for 12 hours, or I'll just post randomly throughout the day. That will automatically go to both Facebook and Instagram. Or I'll go to Instagram if I need to edit a video. I'll go to Instagram, I'll edit it in Instagram, post it, and it auto posts to Facebook. Those are my two main methods for those two platforms. And then I'll typically manually go to YouTube, manually go to TikTok. I used to go to Pinterest. I just fell off of that wagon. I haven't posted on LinkedIn for a long time. But yeah, I'm not using a tool to push everything out.
I'm a big fan of Publer. I just haven't used it in a year. I don't know if there's a difference, but I feel like there's a difference because and Gary Vee talked about this 3 years ago. He's like, make stuff specifically for Instagram. Like, if I post something on Instagram, it doesn't, and the same video gets 100,000 views on Instagram and gets 11 on YouTube Shorts. Why? Humans are very humany. I don't freaking know why. It's frustrating. But also repost that video 3 days later and it gets 3,000. So I've gone sort of the other way, and I'm like 100% granola. Look, I'm wearing a vest today, right? I'm all organic. I'm granola. I'm crunchy. I'm 100% sort of what Tony's doing, which is I'm doing everything manually. I sort of like that because like I have a comment or a caption, and then I'm like, no, I think it's better on this when I do it like this. So I'm just a dude in the kitchen who's adding a little salt and a little of the oregano and trying to figure out what the best thing is. And here's the answer. You're never going to know. It's locks and keys, man. There's just a bunch of locks going by at 4 million miles an hour, and you're just throwing keys in there to see what opens. Consistency will be your best weapon. Consistency and volume over time. That's it. Because if someone comes, let's take it from short social content to podcasting, and they're not the same, right? Because podcasting is not social content. You can post social content about your podcast, but a podcast is not on a platform. Someone could find me at episode 1200 and then be like, who's this guy? And then go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So like the volume of your library, man, one viewer, listener could equal a lot of success. And then they tell 5 friends. That's where that volume and the frequency really start to compound. It's weird. It's a weird game.
Dave,
what else? Well, yeah, anything else from that I was asking, or anything from the DMs that would help anyone else? That's let's say specific, because most of the folks watching or listening want to get more new patients, and they're going to use Instagram or Facebook the way I'm using it. And maybe over time, certain people like David, who was on the show before, maybe they're going to eventually use social media like Tony or Jimmy, where it's, therapist facing. I've used my YouTube for practice owner facing. So Tony's got this like big potential reach. He's reaching all consumers. Jimmy is focused on physical therapists. And then I have this like 10,000 pool of practice owners that I'm trying to make content for. So I have a smaller audience. But in terms of any practice owners out there, any other things, like either tips, I don't want to say hacks or whatever, but like anything that we haven't reviewed that maybe I asked privately that would help them, I don't want to say shortcut success, or anything that like, other than, again, they need to just film stuff in the clinic, get patients to sign waivers, film your therapist doing any quirky things or stories or clinical pearls or challenging patients that are anonymous little stories. Anything else that would be, maybe quick wins or things that some of the audience could actually implement today or tomorrow.
What do you got, Tony?
I think the thing that worked for me, like talking consistency, is, I took a week off like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. At the end of January, I took a week off. I'm burnt out. I don't even care. I'm not boosting anything. I had a big month in the end of December, beginning of January. But for me, I'm not looking at this as I have to do this. I'm looking at this as it's a mental break from what I'm doing in the clinic. It gives me a distraction. I hear therapists talk about how like complex and how much thought goes into patient treatments, evaluations, engagements, things like that. For me, this just gives me a little recreational break to do something else, to reset before I maybe go into my next patient engagement.
Yeah.
And so if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay. It's not costing me anything. It gives me a little play money on the side that I can do stuff with. If I took it more seriously, I would reinvest the income back into ads, just like Jimmy said. I would try to get to 1 million followers quicker. I wouldn't waste time with other stuff, but I still kind of use it as a playground, and that keeps the stress low. So if I don't publish today or tomorrow, no big deal. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. I would say 2 things. Number 1, relax. You're not behind. You're just early in the game, and I don't really care when it is. Like, so relax. The advice I was given in radio when I would sit there and look at a CD, kids, a CD is like a physical MP3. We'll talk about it later. I'd be like, should I play the song on my radio station or not? And a great boss just said, you don't get beat by the songs you don't play. Get beat by the songs you do play. Play a crappy song for 3.5 minutes, you suck. So relax. The second thing I'll say, if you're like, yes, this is for me, I do this constantly. I'm showing you my notebook. All I'm doing is I've always got 5 formats that I'm doing. Formats. I'm not even talking about videos. I'm talking about things that I'm doing. In December and January, I was doing this format on LinkedIn. If MedBridge hired Jimmy, here's the first 3 things I do. If blah did blah, here's the thing. That was a format. It was a great LinkedIn long form text post. It was a way for me to play with ideas. Could I turn that into a video? Yes, you can. So it was text and then video. So I like the ideas and the formats. Then we move to the mediums. That's why, kids, that's why we call it media. You know that, right? Everybody hates media. Media sucks. You are media. You are media. You are me. You are yelling at the media on the media, right? So I always have like 5 formats going on, and they're always stunningly simple. Right now I've got if X, then Y. If PTs were Avengers, then who would they be? That's if APTA were to hire Jimmy, then what are the, right? That's one format. I do clips from episodes. If I'm having 11 conversations a week, why wouldn't I get one short form social clip out of it? And now I'm doing carousels, because now everybody's telling me the talking to the camera video in 2026 might be losing steam. Platforms are smart about that. They don't want to be a played out song. So I'm doing carousels, but I watch what other people are doing. Like Gary Vee's doing a lot of like image, like on Instagram, image, swipe, and then you swipe and it's a video. It's like, oh, it's cool. It's wrapping paper, present, wrapping paper, present. This is the same stuff in 16 different ways. That's all it is. So have one format. Do you want me to prove this? If you go to Blend Tech on YouTube, I've done this before. Go to YouTube and search Blend Tech. This is a company that makes the world's greatest blender. That's what they said, not me. Their whole YouTube and social strategy for a gajillion years with 1 billion followers. I don't know, not actual numbers. They're just like, hey, we have the world's greatest blender. And they got this guy in a lab coat with goggles and gloves, and he just walks in from off camera, and he's like, hey, he's like Mr. Rogers. And he's like, puts the blender down, and he just goes, 12 golf balls, puts them in the blender. Will it blend? And then they blend it. Of course it's going to blend. It wouldn't be on the show. One format. That's their whole thing. So you don't need 50 formats. You don't need to compete with everybody and be the Gary Vee. You don't. Figure out what your method is and your message and your medium. Oh, that's 3 M's. Message, method, medium. And then repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. And which one is the best? My last statement. Just like which exercise is the best? The one you're going to do. If you hate yourself on camera, don't be on camera. Get someone else to do it, or do voiceover or whatever. This is the fun part. This should be fun. If it's not, get someone else to do it.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE at CONCIERGE painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.